And Brian, it just ended after hours of people talking on both sides and how much they love the tax and how much they hate the tax. Either way, there is now a head tax in this city on large companies, and right now we have council members who are giving other reporters here, including my colleagues, interviews on why they think that this was necessary to fight the homelessness issue in this city. One thing I want to mention, in the last couple of minutes, some new votes happened on this matter. The first one is an amendment brought by Councilmember Kshama Sawant. She wanted to not use any of the tax dollars to clean up unauthorized homeless encampments. So she wanted these tax dollars to go towards hygiene and other services, but she is fundamentally against any of the cleanups that are going on of unauthorized homeless encampments. A very controversial idea that she had, but that was voted down in an 8-1 vote. So Kshama Sawant was the only person to support that amendment, and all the other council members voted against it. So that died just a couple of minutes ago. Another thing that just happened right before they ended the meeting was that they've decided to make the spending non-binding, which means we really do not have a spending plan. So although we have approved a $275 head tax, we do not know yet how that money is going to be used. They say that they're going to deal with that in other meetings during the budget meeting and work that into the city's business. So that's still outstanding. That's a big question a lot of people have, is accountability and how the money is going to be used. This was a very controversial issue, again, not just for the community, but also council members themselves. We had 5 council members who wanted to stick to the $500 a head tax, but they didn't have the votes. They knew it. They knew that the mayor was going to veto it. So they came back over the weekend, this past weekend, and negotiated with other council members. There were 4 council members who actually wanted 250. So over the weekend, they negotiated and they came down to the number of 275, and that is what passed. Take a listen to some of what the council members had to say before the vote an hour ago.
8 council members worked hard to get to yes. Sometimes you have to lead. Sometimes you have to compromise and not bully. Sometimes you have to look beyond your own echo chamber and your own movement. Sometimes you have to look beyond your own personal worldview, political lens, and slogan mill. Sometimes you have to do that.
This is a progressive revenue option that allows for us to get money in the door immediately to build the housing that we need. But I want to underscore that this reflects only a portion of what we need to meet the approximate $75 million needed. And we cannot wait. We must continue to push forward for progressive revenue options. This is just the beginning of the fight.
I do think that with the nearly $50 million a year that this will raise, there's a lot of good things that we can do for people that are suffering out there, and we look forward to implementing that. But we also know, especially in light of reports that come out this in the past week, and what we've seen frankly for years, that there's a lot more work that needs to happen.
Here we are, and the message that we are sending is that working people, not just in Seattle, but in every other city, can have the courage to take on one of the most powerful corporations in the world and the richest man in the world, and you could build a movement that can win.
Now, out of the 4 council members you just heard from, you heard 3 of them say this is not over. So there is almost a prediction that in the future they will come back and maybe try to raise the head tax. So we'll have to see on that. But right now, again, the city landing at $275 per employee a year. For a company like Amazon, that means about $11 million a year for Amazon, the biggest employer in our region. Guys, back to you.
All right, Hannah, great job out there.